and it's across the faculties. We recognize that some people are very active, particularly in earth sciences and agriculture. Earth sciences, agriculture, and technology. Quite a number of people are doing very well, but it's just a very small fraction. Yet research is critical to what we are engaged to do. We also notice that people do a lot of personal funding of research. They use their personal resources to do research. That's excellent, and that is good, because it means that you are putting emphasis on what is very critical to you. But we know also that it is cheaper and probably wiser to do research that is funded. It is actually better in all respects that you get grants to do your research. The colleagues that I have found on the campus that are doing well over the last couple of decades that have been here as a young graduate assistant up to now, the ones that are flying are those who have grants from time to time to run their business. And so we think that there's a need for us to do something, apart from the fact that the strategic plan of the university emphasizes the need to train and to retrain everyone in the university. So everybody needs some training at every point in time. And the Vice Chancellor will tell you, anytime he has an opportunity to go for a training, he goes, even now. So everybody has to come for something like this from time to time. So at the end of our meeting, we are thinking that we will encourage greater interest in self-financing research, that is searching for grants actively. And Professor Seni will tell you some of our, and of course Professor Upong also know what we have been through. We've been aggressive. We've been doing a lot of support for people who want to do research in the last 10 months in particular. And we are always ready to support them. We've got some successes, but we have had so many brick walls. But in spite of that, we have to move forward. And we know that if we are determined, we can actually change the landscape of research on the campus. And we want to reduce the focus on our courses, our personal courses, to fund research. And we also want to raise the visibility of the university. Just to close, yesterday it was in the news that UNN produced the first electric car in Nigeria. And it was in the news, it was coming up and forward. Because that's a major contribution. When OANU did the surgery and the Punch put it, I read the caption of Punch is inside OAU THC cardiac theater, where surgeons repair babies' hearts. It's all over the place, and if you search Google for that title, it's all over the news. So there's a way that research findings, particularly the ones that are significant in the area of health and technology, puts the university in the news and raises the status of the university. So our hope is that at the end of this workshop, we're going to create a cluster of champions who will continue to help in the health sciences and pharmacy sector, and who will also continue to work with us around the campus to increase our presence in the global space in terms of research. So on this note, I'd like to welcome everyone. We will have the opportunity to introduce ourselves later on, but because we have to close this into this opening section very soon, I want to welcome you all to this workshop, and I do hope that in spite of your busy schedules, I know you all very well. I know that everybody is very busy, and I'm not joking about it. In pharmacy, in sciences, I know how busy people are in their laboratories and in their clinics. But in spite of that, we must ensure that this workshop runs well and it has results. We want to be able to create, that cluster of experts who will continue to take forward the research agenda of the university. So I welcome you, and I look forward to a very active participation during these next few hours, few days. So you are welcome. Let's put our hands together for everybody. Now I want to welcome onto the podium, we have invited Professor Luke Bade because of his vast experience to give us a goodwill message. I'm sure we are familiar with him. We know how much impact he has made on research on this campus. And we think this is one person that should, and when we called him, he said yes. May I also say that we called the provost, and his phone was giving some ring that showed he was not in the country. You have to confirm that when he comes to the country last week. We were trying to get him to say, please come. But we stopped that call because we knew it was not ringing as if he was within the premises of the boundaries of the country. But here he is. We're very grateful to have him. So may I ask Professor Olivia to please come to give the goodwill message.
Yes, thank you very much. I was going to speak naturally extensively, but I think I've chosen, luckily I wrote a page deliberately so that I don't exceed my bounds. And also, because I also didn't want to give another lecture. Having said that, I think I even find it more compelling by the fact that some of the things that I wrote down, even in that one page, are the things that were already covered by Professor Additional. And so that it does not sound like I had copied him. I had written it before he said it. And it's not surprising because we are sharing the same message one way or the other. First of all, I want to appreciate the invitation from Professor Additional. We have quite a lot in common. You may not know, you may not know. The qualifications we have are shared between Ife and, should I say, Manchester stroke Salford. For those of you who do not know, Salford is like Modakeke to Manchester. In fact, we had a beer that was, the advertisement read, a beer of two cities. You know, so probably I've taken the same beer before. And by their colors, of course, you shall know them. The fact that it's wearing blue will tell you that it's a city supporter. Oh, I live at Old Trafford, so I'm naturally a Man U supporter. So having said that, I think let me just read through the page for the record. Yes, I wish to thank the director of the Central Office of Research. I'm sure we know that it's in that capacity that he has invited all of us. For that, for not only inviting me, but also for organizing this program. In collaboration, I did say in collaboration with AC Africa Center of Excellence, whether it's virtual or real, we will soon find out by the next event. Indeed, it is one of the prime functions of the Central Office of Research to continuously train the community of academic staff on grantsmanship. It is instructive to note that the provision of the facility hosting this workshop, and I mean the entire building and this hall, is a classical testimony to the benefit and impact of a successful grantsmanship. So when I said it's in partnership with AC, of course, the AC provided this facility, if nothing else. I'm not required to present a lecture, but I wish to remind us that if academic institutions in developed countries thrive mostly on grantsmanship, it then becomes imperative on us, those of us who are outside our brackets, to lean hungrily on need for survival. I have no doubt that the workshop will provide participants with the opportunity to learn or update knowledge on the art and science of grantsmanship, not only to secure, but also to manage grants successfully, because a successfully managed grant serves as opportunity to leverage the next one. I also believe that it will accommodate opportunities for interaction between participants to share experience with each other. I do expect that beginners, if there are beginners in this room, will come to appreciate that research grants are not awarded as a matter of right or constitutional allocation, but on the other hand, are very competitive in nature. Please, spare some thoughts for the source of the fund, and you come to appreciate that you cannot ignore the interest expressed by the granting agency and the need to be fully accountable. Clear distinction, I believe, will be made between intervention grants that is meant to address a specific problem based on a smart logic model, and on the other hand, academic research or sponsored research, the latter usually from industry. At the workshop, it will be pertinent to spare time to go through the university research policies, which has been carefully prepared to guide researchers and also to assure the donor agencies, and without which it is impossible to secure some big grants. I also wish that time will be spared to deliberate on the value and benefits of regional networking, which in my personal opinion has raised the Central and East and Southern African sub-region well above the West African sub-region. While trusting you into the hands of the experts invited, I wish you all a rewarding experience, and happy that the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic is here, because I'm sure if I were on the other side, I would grab him, because what we have all been seeking is institutional support. That none of this is possible without institutional support. So I'm speaking on their behalf now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I think Prof deserves another round of applause. Thank you, Prof. We are going to send this, with the soft copy of this will be available, and we're going to share it with everybody. There are important things to note in what you've said. I'm going to invite the provost of the College of Health Sciences to the podium. Our hands together for you.
The Deputy Vice Chancellor, the directors here present, I think I have 2-3 of them, Professor Olubade, other resource persons, and their colleagues who have been invited this morning. I must say that I'm highly excited that this is happening at this time. I think I've been on the academic staff of the university, not for decades,
More than a decade.
for like 19 years.
More than a decade. That's 2 decades.
For like 19 years, not
2
several decades like
2
yours.
decades.
But I know it's only in the last few years, really, that university started to wake up to start to talk about things like this. I mean, in all the younger years that we were here, nothing like this was happening, where the university would deem it fit that new and younger academics should be introduced into research culture and grantsmanship. In fact, what everybody complains about is that I knew was that they just employ me and they throw me onto the job. There's no training, nobody's guided on how to go about it. So when things like this started happening, it got me very excited. And I think it's only getting better, because the Central Office of Research is beginning to find its structure and it's beginning to live to its mandate, even more than the way it was at the beginning. And I'm particularly more excited because now it's College of Health Sciences and Pharmacy. And so when I came in, I was looking for all the younger people. I know a number of not less than 10, 12, 15 people who are recruited into the college this year. I have not seen any of those, except I don't know them. I thought those are the ones that maybe we've not even met. Because, Director, why I said I was going to be here at all costs is that what you're doing here this morning is taking some of my planned responsibilities. We already have it in the pipeline that the newly employed academic staff, some of them have not met, and I'm not joking, because I wasn't at their interviews. So and there have been no opportunity to gather together to discuss. We were planning a session where we're going to introduce ourselves to them, they to us, tell them how to go about and navigate the complex world of academia and all of those things. So I'm very happy that this is happening. So by the time we will be meeting, they will have been primed already, and then they will know that the university really is caring for them rather than the way we used to think, that they just employ us and throw us onto the job. So I want to congratulate our colleagues who are going to be participating in this. I want to congratulate the Center Office of the Site for doing it at this time to organize this kind of session. And I can only wish all of us a very good time. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. Let's put our hands again together for Yes, we are not surprised that we had you with us. We were worried we weren't able to talk to you. But they sent me a text very early in the morning, maybe about 5 a.m. And I think I was able to respond very quickly too. So you're welcome, sir. The Vice Chancellor, represented by, ably represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic, will come on board now. I want to say a few words before it comes on. I want to say that the administration has been very supportive of the program we are running. And I want the provost to know before he steps out, and our colleagues from Professor Badi, representing also the pharmacy cluster, that we are going to start another cycle of training. And we are hoping that rather than putting you at this near-hand kind of thing, we will put you on the, in the front, so that we can quickly connect what we are going to do in the next few days, today and tomorrow, with other things very, very soon. So the administration has been particularly supportive, and DVC Academic, together with Professor Aderomu, Professor Aderomu is not here, but he told me he will come back here, he will come today from Abuja and join us this afternoon to make a presentation. We are expecting that he's going to share with us some of his experiences that brought to this center up to this point, which is an envy of everybody in the country. So I want to invite the Deputy Vice Chancellor to declare this, to give us the welcome address, and also to declare this workshop open. Please move.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, sir. I want to welcome everyone on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Itogo Bodede, to this particular research workshop. Let me recognize the presence of our international provost. It's international, you know, when you look at some people and the way they act and do their things, you really appreciate it. Why? Because they don't do time for any kind of work. And we really appreciate whoever's there. I really in anything that we call him for. And very effective and efficient. He sent a paper up to the Vice Chancellor, and I was asked to just go through the paper. Fantastic, and I couldn't even find where I would put a comma, So these are some of the things. So we really appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. The Executive Director, Central Office of Research, who is actually bringing up this workshop at this time. We thank you for your various efforts. I know that we have so many things on you for now. The proposal, I'm believing, is almost true. It's a tasky exercise anyway, but we know we'll be there. I want to thank you for your efforts, and we know we've been interacting in various ways, day, afternoon, and the middle of nights, all to ensure that things go on well. Thank you very much. I also want to recognize Professor Ilori, who is also a very senior professor, putting all his experiences to bear in the Central Office of Research. Thank you very much. Professor Usedi, you know he's my own there. We know him to be very, very much interested in anything that has to do with research. And this is very, very important. And that's why he was brought into that office. And since he's been there, definitely the ED will say a lot of things about him. He has moved a lot of things and is making a lot of suggestions, contributions to ensure that we have a robust way of approaching our research efforts within the institution. Thank you very, very much. Professor Olugbade, thank you very, very much. Compan, I'm really thrilled and very happy seeing you here again this morning. He's also one person you always rely on to give him something to do. Even if you don't give him and he feels that thing he'll be able to continue, he will come and meet you and tell you that, let me do something like this thing. Really, we appreciate it because we've been doing a lot of things in various spheres, not in the area of research alone. Talk of the accreditation is there. Talk of the needs assessment is there. Talk of TETFund, it will give you inputs. And then we're talking of this research base now. Thank you very much. We continue to appreciate you. Professor Mamadu, thank you very much. Yeah, we will soon be there. Don't worry. I know what I'm saying. Thank you for your efforts. It's well recognized and acknowledged, particularly for this proposal that is ongoing. Let me tell you that most people had the thought that the approach that had been used before will be used now. But this is a different approach. They were with the mind that maybe we just go in there and just for the sake of it. But the way it is being done now, I can tell you that so many people have been receiving support from various areas and outside the university. And it's coming out of this sort of training. It's good that out of health sciences, College of Health Sciences and Pharmacy is the one stated for today. We've had for other faculties before now, anchored by the Central Office of Research. And we've seen different changes actually in the way people now look at Grantsmanship, proposal writing, and approaching it. The director IR&T, thank you. This is a very lucky team because the health people cannot do without agreeing. They have to eat before they do the work. Thank you very much. He is coming all the way from Ibadan, although came for something different, but he said he wants to. Thank you very much. My engineer, no. Thank you very much for your efforts. These are the key ICT people that are giving us all the support here. And I think we still have to appreciate Professor Romu for his various contributions and untiring efforts in ensuring that at least most of what we request for is provided. And actually, by the time it comes back, we're able to see his or hear his various contributions in the area of research. Let me I think I also want to recognize all resource persons and participants that are here. Doc, we have somebody also that is there on the team of the proposal. Thank you very much for being there. And the International Secretary, Mrs. Adejumo. Thank you very much. You are all recognized and well acknowledged. Well, what is to happen today? It's not as if it's a new thing. But the dimension is going to be different. Different in the sense that it is not mere hearing or just the theoretical notes alone, but putting everything into practice. We know the essence. Any academic institution stands on the tripod of three main things: teaching, research, and community service. But that research component fits the teaching component and also fits the community service component. So it is really core. Your teaching can only be enhanced if you have the opportunity of writing good proposals, going to the field, experiencing what you learned in theory or you know in theory, and by so doing, your results will have something to say about the community or whatever you are doing concerning that particular research, and you'll be able to impact on your community and impact on so many people. And this grows. It grows you. It grows your department. It grows the university. It grows the state. It grows the nation, and also the globe. So it is very, very important. And I want you to take it as such. We know that it looks like we've been losing this research culture over time, and there was need to build that up. And here again, I want to tell you that the ingenuity of the Vice Chancellor, is also vast in this area. I've done a lot of research. Gave rise to the need for us to really train people. Just like the provost said, we just come into the system and then we are just thrown out there. Just go and find your level. But this time around, we can always use this opportunity to guide ourselves on what we are expected to do. The ethics of even writing research proposals, and not research proposals alone, winning proposals. But as somebody who is versatile or who wants to be well known in that area, you don't mind the outcome, even though you are yearning for a winning proposal. If it comes out negative, comments will come concerning whatever you write, and you will improve upon it, and then move ahead from there. But I tell you, if you are used to it, there's no way you don't win one. And it sounds a lot of purpose. Apart from the monetary component, you are connected to different people, and particularly those in your area of study. And once you are so known, they reference you at any point in time for so many things. And that in itself is something that makes you happy within the system. I normally tell most people that this is even more than the monetary gains that you may think you will have from it. You are well connected, and you don't have to veer into some other areas that are not yours. You look to the campus, almost every one of us, we are trying to become pastors, trying to have a rental base or car wash base. Some of us have shops in the new market there. I mean, what is an academic looking for in those areas? of those areas away. Let those that are supposed to do it do the things there and focus on research. With the research, you build up yourself, build up your department, and you go. I used to tell most people that, you see, even though we're talking of institutional support and all those things, when you are used to research, there are so many donors outside there looking for where to just put their money, but they are not seeing the proposals and whatever. And I know we know much about this thing, but writing the thing is the problem. And this is something that this gathering, this workshop is going to hear you doing. Just put it across. There's no perfect proposal that we send out. And because there's no perfect one, whatever we send out will be fine-tuned one way or the other. When I first started, just want to use myself as example. I just wrote the proposal. I saw the thing on the board of IT. I went there, I saw it, and I just said, let me try this thing. I just said it wasn't easy anyway. With the combination of all these results and various administrative activities, I just felt that there was need for me to go on the midnight candle a little bit further to ensure that I get it in out. And I did it, and just left it there like that. I then wrote another one, that was for IT, it came first. I wrote another one, I just sent it to Podestra. Do you know that of Podestra came first? And they just said, you don't have to go anywhere for that one. They give you just like a text update to support your research. And it came. So I took that was $2,500 then dollars. You know what that was? And I was also given that for URC then, about 120 or so. I just wrote URC that, thank you very much. Like I was saying something and it said, so I took that for this grant. But within that same year, that YIT came. And when it came, I was confused. I said, no, I can't be enjoying this. I said, I have to write them to say that Podestra has given me a grant to conduct this component of the research. That was actually the qualitative component. So they said I shouldn't bother to do the quantitative component, and that is the biggest, the most expensive. And you know what? To my surprise, and that was actually what really for that. They provided everything that I needed, gave me money even to move it from the notes and trainings of the various areas that I needed to go within the study area. So that's really helped me a lot. So what I'm trying to say is that it's just a matter of trying. Just put the thing across. And don't depend solely on institutional support. At least the support inside university. We're going on and now on the basis of accreditation to the various departments to check the status, their readiness. So what I've been telling the heads of the department is that if it is possible, get one person, maybe a copper, or from the work study program, just one person who is computer literate, sit the person down. If that is the only thing the person will be doing, give that assignment. And what's that assignment? Let the person invest for the department any information that has to do with scholarship, grants, fellowship, traveling opportunities, and all those things. They are working up there. But because we are not used to most of us are not used to this, we depend on what is coming with it. I bet you by the time you get one or two outside there, you get connected, link up with a lot of people, and hinge on some of your professors, senior professors in the faculty who are well known, you know, you get use of these things. So please, I want you to take the advantage of this workshop, to listen very well to all the presentations, and to ensure that you don't count it as one of those workshops that you just do without grabbing something. Grab it, practice it, get something out of that. So I want to wish you well. I want to pray that at the end of the day, what we are doing will be in vain. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We have the messages from our colleagues who would be coming in a little bit late, but we want to go ahead in spite of that. I'd like to remark that the concern about the young academics, those who are just coming in, will be addressed by Dr. Momodu. I hope that we can take that presentation. So what we want to avoid is to turn this to a talk shop. We want to minimize presentation as much as possible. We want to put our hands into practical things. But if we have the space, we already have this presentation about how to get people connected with what they are supposed to do in the university when they are just coming in as lecturer grade 1 in pharmacy and health sciences. So now I'm going to hand over to Professor Upon, who is going to really coordinate this workshop. That's the way it's going to run, and I think we are involving a new model. Please let's put our hands together for.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you here this morning, and thanks for those that came in before 8, those that came in by 9, and those that are still coming in. So we'll try as much as possible to catch up on time. We'll be having 3 sessions before the tea break. The tea break is going to be a walking break. We're going to be served while sitting, and it's at that time that we're going to have a lot of discussions. So what we're going to do is take the lectures, they're very brief as you would see, and then we would have the time to take all the discussions while sitting and taking tea break. Immediately after that, based on Mr. Yolaki will be circulating something right now where you'll be identifying your research interest. While the sessions are going on, we'll be clustering people into research areas. At the end of today and by tomorrow, we would expect some proposals from the clusters with the objective of submitting this to the university to process through TETFund. We do not expect that by tomorrow that those proposals will be concluded, but we expect that by tomorrow the framework would have been developed. So we definitely would say that from this project, that is our concrete output. Of course, the outcome will be that the grant is approved and the proposals truly get the grant. So our tentative clusters will be based on your indications of research interest. We can recluster anyway once we start to find our levels within these clusters or between clusters. But the big thing is that it cannot be one faculty base. It must be cross-cutting. And if you identify persons outside beyond the person's presence here within those clusters that you want to engage, please feel free to identify that. On this note, we will go straight to our sessions. And our first speaker will be Professor Eso Useni, who will be talking to us about 4 reasons why proposals are successful. And hopefully we'll learn about what it means to put together transactions. It's my indeed big honor to welcome my senior colleague, Professor Useni. Sorry, we're doing paperless. You will have to refer to your WhatsApp group to get the program.
Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Executive Director, Central Office of Research, this workshop is being held across 4 faculties. We want to put on record the immense contributions of all members of the team, and also register the contributions of Professor Mrs. Upong, who fast-tracked everything within 7 days. So we have a topic as projected. We want to do a 2-part presentation. The first part will be part A, some general updates on grantsmanship, echoing what was said during the course of this workshop by the Provost of College of Health Sciences, as well as Professor Lukade. So we have part A and part B. We can see that part B captures the essence of the title that was highlighted. So for part A, we have a slide that is called an appetizer. And then what is an appetizer? We have a list of major granting agencies across the globe. And in particular, we have selected those with special appeal or affinity to the College of Health Sciences and the Faculty of Pharmacy. And then what is the message from this slide? Several messages. Message number 1 is that if there is any institution that is not connected with these groups, it is an indication of the institutional ranking, meaning what is the recognition, what is the visibility, what is the position of that institution. We see all the major funders are there. And number 2 is how can an institution or a college, like the College of Health Sciences and the Faculty of Pharmacy, connect with these global funders. Number 3 point is that at the Central Office of Research, we monitor their calendars and timelines. There is an annual budget every year by these agencies, and the budgets and the call for proposals are specially made for higher education institutions and universities. So there are lots of lessons. That the starting point is the connection. To what extent is our university affiliated with these agencies? We have the National Institute of Health, which is among the top-ranking funding agencies for the College of Health Sciences globally. We have the Gates Foundation. We have several others, including the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. All these agencies are involved with global funding for research and development concerning the College of Health Sciences and the Faculty of Pharmacy. So this is a wake-up call for all of us as an institution. So this is the starting point. We call it the golden slide, really. Then this leads to a number of follow-up questions. For example, is there an annual valuation of our effort as an institution? Do we take stock that at the end of any given year, given that all these institutions give grants or they have calls for proposals almost every year, what is an institution doing about this? So valuation means to what extent is an institution tapping into these opportunities? And then can we have a grantsmanship index? Grantsmanship index, by definition, is the proportion of all available granting opportunities that an institution can tap upon. Meaning that we could have a score from 0 to 100%. 0 where nothing is secured by the institution. 100% where all the opportunities are secured and harnessed. And then can there be targets like the College of Health Sciences? What are the annual calls by the National Institute of Health, or the CDC, or the WHO, or the Gates Foundation? What are those annual calls? And to what extent can the college, including the Faculty of Pharmacy, connect with this? Is there a trend analysis? Where are we really? Where do we want to be? So these are some of the questions. Is there an analysis of our strengths or our perceived weaknesses or opportunities or barriers? So these are the questions that follow the opportunities. This list of questions are more personal at the individual level. What is the connection between grantsmanship and a very full career, meaning a very robust career? At the COR, we have discussed this a lot. that there are two pathways for an academic. There is a pathway without grantsmanship, and there's another pathway with grantsmanship. And from the preliminary contributions of the provost as well as Professor Luka, we know that these are two different pathways. So all these are individual questions now. Number 5 says, how can we think grantsmanship, act grantsmanship, and do grantsmanship? So this is part of the build-up. We have more questions. What are the gaps? What are the challenges? What is the trend for external grants? What are the skills and knowledge gaps that are needed? How do we nurture these skills? If, for example, University of KwaZulu-Natal or Stellenbosch or Pretoria are the top-ranking universities in Africa, why are they on the top? What is their grantsmanship record? How do they tap on NIH grants? How do they tap on the Gates Foundation grant? How do they tap on all available golden opportunities? And what are we doing differently? Our qualifications less than theirs. We all have very advanced qualifications. So what can we do differently? We have these from those who have taken grantsmanship to a new height. For example, the norm in the world of grantsmanship is that at any given time, you have 3 preoccupations. The first is that you have a current grant in the middle that is ongoing. E.g., you have a grant that started in 2017 that may end in 2021, meaning ongoing. At the top of it, you have a grant that is being concluded in August of this year, meaning retire. That is the technical word. You will retire a grant. And then at the bottom, you are warming up for 2020 to 2024. And this is called grant cycle within the grantsmanship context. Meaning that at any given time, you have these 3 at play. But then some took it a little extra when you have times 2 of each of these. And we have seen that in some parts of the world. And this should be the model for us. Okay? And then part of the background before we go to the main presentation is the 0, 1, 2 levels for every institution. 0 means that an institution is not harnessing grantsmanship at all, meaning either there are very low application rates or no submission at all. But how can such an institution migrate to level 1? What is level 1? Is it 1A, 1B, or 1C? Where 1A is a lot of applications in quantum. Where 1B is a few very high quality applications with very high probability of success. Or 1C, where you combine quantum and quality. So these are points for reflection. Ultimately, you migrate to level 2, where you have very high success rates for that institution. Again, we refer to these golden slides. These are global opportunities for every university to harness. And we really cannot do different. So we look at it briefly on trend analysis for using the International Foundation for Science. This is one of the granting agencies that is well known within IFE, and IFE has a very good track record for the past 48 years when the fund was set up. So the starting point is some brief information. We have this granting agency giving 12,000 USD per grant per application, plus an extra 3,000 USD for travel grant to present the results of the research in any part of the world. And then the grant is renewable up to 3 times, meaning that for a L2 or L1 academic staff who is within the age range of less than 35 for men and 40 for women, you have the opportunity of renewals up to professorship, consistent renewals every 2 or 3 years. And indeed, in the Faculty of Pharmacy, somebody broke the record, Professor Adewu, who got up to 4 renewals, maybe from L2 up to professorship. And these opportunities are there. So far, OAU has had up to 237.6 billion naira from this fund alone. And out of the national ranking, we have 44 for OAU, of which 14 are for the Faculty of Pharmacy. So briefly, we rush through this. We have all the grants. We have 237 million from one granting agency compared to all the hundreds that we are aware of. So we have all this. At the middle here, at the middle, we have the IFS, one out of so many others. So we just rush through these slides. We have what you call decadal analysis for OAU. And this is also worrisome. We see that there was a trend in the 80s. There was a trend in the 80s, and then that declined up to 2013, and this on the decline, and that is worrisome. We have our very senior who did so well in the 80s, and for some of us who got it, were nurtured by those who got it in the 80s. Professor Ilori, which one is your bracket? You are one of the grantees. 94. So that is the, and IFS is still on. There are 2 calls per year, worth $12,000 plus as described. These are available opportunities, and we have more information there. Even half decadal trend, you have all this information. This is ready to go for all science-based faculties, including basic medical, clinical, dentistry, as well as faculty of pharmacy. So we have all this trend here for across faculties. We have all this. Now for UI, very briefly, we have cases of health sciences recording IFS grant. We don't have that here, and it's also a wake-up call for OAU. Again, this slide was shown before with OAU ranking number 2 nationally. Now we have all this. So to the main presentation. We want to be sure that what are these reasons why proposals are successful. This was actually a documentation by the International Foundation for Science to give feedback to applicants, to guide them. It is not just sufficient to say a proposal was rejected. That it is simply decent to tell the global audience what are all the loadful of reasons why proposals may be accepted or rejected. So all these were collated from the IFS website. Incidentally, even when a proposal is rejected, there is the magnanimity of attaching the applicant to the reviewer for a total makeover for resubmission. So those opportunities are there, which we all can happen. So we have the concerns about the grants or the proposals cut across everything, including the attitude of the submitter. Attitude in terms of packaging. How are some of these sections written? What are the attention to details? How very meticulous you are by nature. So, and this cuts across all of, not just the IFS proposal. It's all about combination of intellect and attitude. There may be the best of intellect, but attitude means there is some degree of sloppiness in the packaging, very poor packaging, and that will lead to. Essentially, the complaints cut across every aspect of the proposal. And then this chart was done to rank all the concerns. We can see that the tallest bar has to do with the overall concept. And the message is that if the overall concept is not all right, then the proposal cannot fly. And then details were presented about that overall concept. There is a second bar concerning, it's not just budget alone. It has to do with budget and budget justification. What are all those items that were entered as part of the budget, and how justified were they? Meaning, do they really make sense? And then the costing, were they overinflated? All these were some of the concerns. But more importantly, you have other concerns to do with the objectives, the research plan, the applicant information, incomplete information. You have the literature review, even the application form. You have some lines that were, all the details were presented. And then there is a scoring process for each of these, and then there is the aggregation of the points, just like we do our grading on a scale of 0 to 100%. And then there's a score. So generally, if you look at the overall concept, you have some of the points highlighted in red. It could be outside the scope of the call for proposal, or the concept is totally not research-oriented, or not innovative, or without any likelihood of contributing to impact. Again, this is from the collation from the IFS over time. It could be too speculative, meaning that you have the kind of background or rational basis that is not sufficient for the work, or pertinent information are lacking, and that ultimately the impact may be in question. You have a project concept that could be oversimplified, meaning that you could have too many issues that are being addressed, or too general, too mundane, or it could be too ambitious, having so many of the activities packed in, and you have all others. We have the full documentation for this, which will be shared with the group. The background justification could be very weak, meaning that the proper research gaps were not uncovered. You could have a justification that is too woolly, too vague, very unconvincing, or too speculative. All these are documented by objectives that are really not connected with the methodology. This is the rule of disharmony, where the parts are disjointed. You have objectives, you have methodology. The element of coherence doesn't come in. So all these were raised by the IFS, and they have where hypotheses are not testable, and objectives are not research-oriented or too general. All this, we have the literature basis. What was the knowledge before now? What are the knowledge gaps, and how can they be filled? It could be outdated literature, poorly developed, or too narrow, or unbalanced. When it is skewed, the unbalanced will become cherry picking. So all these were mentioned, including the research plan, as well as the design, the time frame. All these were mentioned. Budget and project justification, all these would eligibility at multiple scales. The first thing is to read the call. This applies to every call now on the list. Read the call. The first eligibility criterion is your country, Nigeria, will not be eligible. So don't bother. Or if your country is eligible, your organization, maybe focusing on research institutes alone, not universities. Or your discipline or field, or your gender, and then your crime then will be that you are a male. Or the composition of the research team where female leaders are needed. So all these, even the abstract will be problematic. So even the qualifications and network. So for the network, some will feel that your networks are way too vast for a 12,000 USD grant. Or another call may indicate that your networks are way too small for a mega grant. So this could play in several directions, either too vast or too narrow. Again, these were some of the complaints. Again, the application form, some of the tests will be outside of the box, so you do very careful edit. We have, so we have this again. What is interest, rounding up now, of interest are the general observations. What we have shown here is using the IFS template. We're also aware that IFS research are hypothesis-driven, meaning that you have a scientific investigation where several hypotheses must be tested. And so that is a requirement for IFS. So it is difficult to use IFS to generalize other granting agents, or other calls for proposals. For example, if you are doing a mega grant, or if you are doing an R for I, that is research for impact, or you are doing collaborative, many of these do not require hypothesis testing, but they require impact. But then all other points that were made, for example, about a very solid literature base, your awareness of the state of knowledge, objectives that are well crafted, the rationale and justification that are cutting edge. All these still hold. So what we are saying is that we don't want to live here with the hypothesis-driven orientation about research. Many of the calls on the list that were shown cut across research calls that do not require hypothesis testing. So each granting agency has specific guidelines, but then it's our responsibility to comprehend these guidelines and to follow suit. And we suggest fluidity. Fluidity, the ability to adapt to varying calls and varying guidelines as presented by different granting agencies. We want to Again, rounding up, we thank our executive director. He has worked day and night since January. With this workshop, we would have covered 9 out of 13 faculties within this year alone. I want us to honor him with a round of applause. Professor Upong facilitated this with the fastest ever. Within 7 days, the idea came up 7 days ago. So thank you. Professor Ilorim again contributed all to making sure all this happened. And then the staff of URO linkages. But then before we round up, we have, this was taken from the junction in Abuja Junction here. We have a group that is called Stay Alive Africa. And what did they do? There is an African project against what? It has indicated. Meaning that you have a group of academics and intellectuals responding. This year alone, we are well aware of the trend for this topic. We have a group of academics who got together, put together some proposals to address a felt very urgent need. And then you have programs and arrangements going on. This is so innovative. And we want to thank members. I'm sure some of them will be here. And then we remember the golden slides again. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Hussaini, for staying on time. We're going to go to the next lecture, but before we go there, I want to highlight that this is not just bringing us together so that we can develop grants. I hope we're starting to look at the golden slide and think about where we might want to submit our proposals at our TETFund. But please note that everybody here, all the resource persons are here. Professor Hussaini is the director from URO. We have IPPOT, IPP. Yeah, I'm going to learn the words, so that's like OT. COR is here. You'll be learning about the function and the support COR will be giving us. We have, yes, a computer center here last. Okay, please, sir, here you're representing them. Yeah, so please make sure that you interact with them. Every resource person here so that you can also interact with them. And they'll be here today, tomorrow. So this is a special call, hoping that you yourselves will begin to develop those other networks outside. You were not selected by accident, you were specially chosen. Yeah. On that note, I would like to call my dear friend, Dr. Alades Oxibus. And he's going to teach us something on the use of Google, which we would most likely be using with respect to our work as we go on. You're most welcome. Yes, the questions will, please put the questions together. After the third lecture, we'll have all the questions. But they will sit up to listen to the questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not unaware of the fact that time has now been our friend in workshops of this nation. We try to do so many things within very short time. So what that means is we rush a bit. So I implore you that you please kindly follow up with me. Let me begin. So good morning, everybody. Let me very quickly appreciate the Center Office of Research, particularly the leadership, Professor Adeshino, and the other subunits and Center Office of Research for making this happen. Those of us at ACE started this, and then the Center Office of Research took it up, polished it, and make it much better, and allow it to percolate around the entire university. Now, while I'm trying to set up my laptop, can I request us, we need internet service for this section. Unfortunately, we lost the switch to this place a few days ago, not be able to replace it. But I was also told that we've been asked to bring our modems and Wi-Fi's. So please, if you have yours with you, please can you kindly connect to the internet? We will spend 3 to 5 minutes trying to do that connection. why I also set up my slide. It's a practical-driven class, so please, you will need it. If you don't have access to the internet, make sure you sit with somebody who has access to the internet. And also, if you have a Google email, then that makes it easier for us. Please also log into your email. So I'll give us 3 to 5 minutes to do that. Slides, and then we go into the core of what we are here to do this morning. To start with, in 2004, 2003, beginning from 2003, the university won the Carnegie Grant. And that's one fundamental grant that changed the face of IT in this university. Some of us who just came to the system then, we were like the errand boy, doing the bits and pieces, the editorial work. But then, it was also a grant that came that a lot of us benefited. Benefited in terms of research, benefited in terms of improving ICT access generally in the university, benefited in sense of collaboration, benefited in sense of training. And I remember vividly in 2011, Professor Additional led us to South Africa, about 11 of us, was CPUT, Cape Peninsula University of Technology. And that visit back the OAU SAP. And indeed, again, we got another 5 million grant from CPUT, through which we set up a computer laboratory somewhere in the computer building. So what I mean is that as a university, over the years, we've also been sustained by grants. Now, we've had this training severally, but very recently, we found out that it's important for us to include the collaborative tools. And the reason is simple, as we will see. But basically, what do I aim to achieve this morning? Number one is for us to understand what collaborative tools are. Not just only that, we will create a Google Drive account, we will do some documents, we will form groups, and ultimately we will begin to use those tools for our collaborative work. Now, I'm sure some of us know, years past, single authorship of papers used to be the king, used to be the main thing. However, gradually research began to move from single or interdisciplinary to cross-disciplinary, where you borrow from research tools from another domain, research domain, and then you use it in your domain. And then it moved from cross-disciplinary, and then we begin to have interdisciplinary. And now everybody is talking about transdisciplinary research, where it goes beyond just the academic, but you also talk to the stakeholders outside. And again, as Professor Additional will let us know, that is exactly what ACE is for. So ACE has the university component, but also ACE has the industrial partners, okay, who will receive letter from to also support this project. Well, by way of information, let me also say this, that in the course of this program, Professor Additional will call to ask that how are we doing. Currently is in TETFund, attending a meeting in TETFund. Because in the few weeks to come, TETFund again, we advertise. So this is an opportunity for us, for the NRF, to begin to prepare. We were beneficiary of NRF about 3 years ago. We got 24 million naira to set up a cybersecurity lab in NRF. I defended that proposal. So that's an information. I'm sure when it comes tomorrow, we'll be able to provide better information. So what does this tell us? It tells us that the current world in the research world
So say
quotes.
Okay,
For
okay.
NRF.
Okay.
Because we want to get people ready from this cluster also.
Okay, please.
To respond.
This is very brief. NRF is the National Research Fund. It's one of the options under the TETFund. We just got information, as mentioned by the presenter, that calls are coming up. The understanding of the COR is that every institution must be awake. You have national calls. Each grant for NRF is worth 50 million naira. So by Nigerian partners, a mega grant, and there is opportunity for clusters to come together within a faculty and then follow all the rules and guidelines. The COR will provide that as furnished by TETFund. Our own joy is that OAU cannot lag behind. If you have institutions submitting minimum 12 NRF proposals to TETFund and Abuja, we really don't want to lag behind. That's why this information is so crucial. And this cuts across 13 faculties in OAU. So this is advanced information. And we hope that this series of workshops will help to fast track that. Thank you very much.
So let me just quickly add this. In fact, in our set, Lori submitted 11.
Lagos submitted 12.
And led by Professor Kundipe, current Vice Chancellor of Unilag. We were just two sets from OAU, our team and Professor Adekoya's team. So, in fact, he had told me to start putting up, we had done one before. She just said I should write the report of the first one and then quickly prepare the next one so that as soon as it comes, we are, we sense. But the point I'm trying to make in all this is that the research today, one word defines research today, and that's collaboration. Okay? Collaboration is the word for research in the 21st century. And so what I want to do this morning is what are some of the tools that can help us. We do not have the time to look at the whole gamut of the tools. Quite a large number of them, some of us have used them without knowing. Some of them we are not using them. But then, through series of workshops like this, we're going to begin to build our capacity in the use of some of these tools. For this morning, one of the tools that we have found out very useful, in parts of some of our workshop is the Google Drive. And some of you that have attended our workshop might have been quite familiar with this. But for some of you that have not, please just go along with us. By the way, did I mention my name? My name is Temitope Aladison. So what's Google Drive? Google Drive is a cloud-based service that allows for sharing, that allows for collaboration. So is a borderless tool. So it makes collaboration becomes borderless. Oftentimes in our workshop, we've seen that people say, "Oh, we are busy. Oh, we could not do this." So the essence of this is, how can we begin to deploy ICT to make it less important where you are? And I used to give this example. There is a project I'm involved with, African Academic Network on Internet Policy. And I represent Nigeria on that. Every other person, so somebody from Nigeria, somebody from Ghana, somebody from Kenya, Professor Fumi Arewa from US, and then Professor Lucy Abraham from South Africa. We only able to meet just twice in a year. We met last time in December in Ghana. Our next meeting is going to be in Harvard in the US. However, we work on daily basis. We do proposals, we do writings. We don't have to see. So the essence of what we are doing this morning is that can we replicate that also at local level? So without wasting much time, these are just the theoretical part that we can read. Now, not so many of us do know that Google have a lot of services. Yes, we know we can use it to search, and then we use it to do our email. But then there are all gamut of other services that are within Google. And I've listed some of them here. If you open your Google email, for those of you who have Google email, and you click, if you look at this button on the top left-hand corner of your Google email, of your Gmail, when you hover your mouse on it, it shows Google app. If you click it, these are all gamut of things that comes up. So for us this morning, of particular concern for us is the Google Drive and the Google Docs. For some of us who does a lot of questionnaire and harvesting of information, of course Google Form is also readily available. And if you have attended a research methodology workshop, we do use Google Form to harvest feedback for those workshops. We've been using Google Forms. And I said, so, how many of us are already on our Gmail? You are there, please can I see your hand up? For those of us who do not have access to internet, please kindly sit with those that have access to internet, because this is going to be done collaboratively. Actually, we also have set up groups, and those groups are supposed to work collaboratively on this. Now, if you click on the setting app, and then you see Google Drive, please click on Google Drive. So now we just go ahead and do the practical. So please just click on the Google Drive. It may be slow for some of us in loading. You have done that just so that I have the feeling that at least, okay, good. Mr. Lejumo, what? I should go back. So your Google Mail, your Gmail, whether your university Gmail, whether your own personal Gmail, either way will work. By the way, if you have the OAU email, it's your best bet. OAU email is posted on Google. So that is your best option. If you have the university email, that makes it a better option. So if you are there, just look at the top right-hand corner of your screen. You're going to see the Google apps. I hope I'm not losing anybody. Professor Mr. Falabi, I hope we are fine. Okay, man. So if you click on the setting button, then you see the whole gamut of apps that Google offers. And we could spend the whole of the week talking about some of these services provided by Google. But for us of interest this morning is Google Drive. Okay, once you click on your Google Drive, are we there? Okay. So quickly, because we do not have time, let's create, which is simple, is as typical as normal system that you use. The normal office applications that you use. The only difference is that this is purely cloud-based. It does not sit on your computer. And the truth of the matter is this. In a few years to come, and we're already in it, everything is going to move to cloud. So you don't need to buy a computer with so much hard disk space again, because nothing gets stored in your hard disk. Once the internet is all over the place, everything goes to Google, to cloud. And just so that the tension is just clear, let me share you. Few months back, an organization came to Nigeria to begin to stand up Nigerian government on the need to also begin to move some of the things we do to cloud. As it is done in US today, a lot of things are going to cloud. And I think I used to ask in the class, how many of us know Amazon? Probably most of us have done. What do you think is the biggest business of Amazon? Can anybody else tell me? What do you think is the biggest business of Amazon? What do they do? Where do they make their money? No chorus answer. What do they do? Sure. No, sorry, not you. Mrs. Sesson. Dr. Mrs. Sesson. Okay.
I'm saying
Sales,
digital marketing.
digital marketing. Wrong. Amazon, sir? Storage. Amazon started as the biggest digital marketer, the largest virtual digital store. But in the last 4-5 years, the business dynamics of Amazon has moved from digital marketing to cloud storage. So they are the official cloud provider for the US government. And the company has also approached Nigeria for similar. And do you know what one of our senators said? After the whole deal has been said and done, he just called a colleague of his and he said, this thing that we are putting in cloud, what happens when it rains? No, it's not going to rain. It's not going to rain today. So our data are safe for today. So please, if you are already in Google Drive, please can you locate this where you see create or new folder? Is this something we can see? Since I'm not with my laptop.
I'm seeing new. Plus.
Okay, please click on that. Alright, are you using laptop or phone? Okay. Okay, so no, don't share anything yet. You are moving ahead of the class. Let's just create a folder. Exactly new, and then it gives you an option for folder, for file upload. But folder is just click on folder. It's additional. Okay, let me just bring my up so that everybody will be on the same page. I'll need to get this off. So I click on drive. I click on new. When you click on new, you see folder.
Are you presenting that?
I'm not proving. Okay.